Have you liked the stream? What's going on, gang? So today we're working on. I got a list of things up here. First off, I still have not uploaded the first version of the hook generated because I've been trying to fix parts about the bot. The thing that's writing right now is basically a better scoring version for failed images. So instead of just saying, hey, this image failed verification, what it's instead doing is that it's instead grading it based on a rubric. And I think I got the rubric down. The main thing that I'm trying to like really nail is the prompts that get sent to Nano Banana that get written by Claude. So as a reminder, if you don't know how the bot works, is that it generates an image from a hook, and then with that generated image, it reviews it with Image GPT to find out if it was a failure or not, and then Claude writes the prompt to send back to Nano Banana to be like, hey, you fucked up here, right? Here's what we need to do that's different. So something else to mention is that I have been spending a decent amount on Claude API. So I'm thinking about I think something I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask, I've been spending a decent amount on Claude API. What is the most usage heavy thing that is costing the most that we call the Claude API for? Because, like, honestly, I don't know. If it's something like the summarize thing, I'm just going to have ChatGPT do it because it's way cheaper. But I think I'll switch it over to that. But in terms of that, that's something I want to work on today. Is mainly nailing down this font size issue, because that's been like the biggest problem with the bot so far. On top of that, uploading the first real campaign version for my client that I just finished would be great. Also, if we can get started on the autofulfill bot, that's a project I've been putting off because a big problem I've been having with my agency, and if anybody has any golden tidbits, because Opus Clip will probably make a short about it. If anybody has any golden tidbits, I would love to know, because I've been having big problems with show rate lately. And I think it boils down to two things. Number one, I've gotten lazy about actually calling the people. But back before I switched niches, it didn't matter. Like, the same people wouldn't show up for a meeting. And I think it's just something about, generate correction prompt. Caching. Okay, let's do number 2, 3, and 4, where we switch to haiku, we optimize the prompt size, and we ensure that caching is working correctly. I don't think we need to be using Sonnet for that. I think Sonnet is stupid. I think we can go back to haiku. I don't think it's necessary. Category-based regeneration requirement increases from 2 to 5 attempts. After 5 attempts, the for loop for a while loop. Added detailed failure analysis sent to the correction prompt. What went wrong, how to fix, avoid, enforce. All changes are implemented in the linter errors are resolved. The system now regenerates image if a category goes below 7. Auto retries up to 5 attempts before asking the user. Writes detailed failure analysis to Claude for better correction prompts. Great. Something else I'll ask. Are we multi-threading this process and not just doing it one by one? So that'll be another thing to ask. So the problem I've been having with show rate, I think, is I've been giving my prospects too much. My idea was to tell them basically like, hey, here's how you can run an ad campaign to prove that I know how to do it. But I think that convinces them that they can just do it themselves, or it gets like too intimidating. So I think that's the problem I've been having. The other problem is that a lot of these guys are just very technically illiterate. Like, I tried to get on the phone with somebody yesterday, and he was like, I can't figure out how Google Meet works. My daughter set this up for me. And I don't know if he was just, like, bullshitting to me to try and get out of it, which is probably what it was. But it kind of doesn't matter. So I need to figure out a way to... What's up, dude? I need to figure out a way to, like, decrease the barrier of entry. And this is something that I wrote up here, which is the goal in the future is to automate the entire system so that there's basically, like, people can just sign themselves up and then we just start it, like what I do right now, or like what Angie's or Thumbtack or Home Advisor does. Like, anybody can just click to sign up and then they just start paying for it. Honestly, I'm genuinely thinking about just implementing this earlier. Like, I'm genuinely thinking about it and just split testing the funnel attempt. Because my main concern with it in my head is that, like, I'll get too many people, but so, like, I don't have to fulfill for them. And as if I just don't charge them anything, like, on here I said we should charge like $100 setup fee. I honestly don't believe that I have the pre-qualification to, like, well, sorry, I don't have the case studies to justify that. I don't have the proof, and even now, I still don't feel like I do. So, I think I need to change that. Let me read this. So, GPT, multi-threading. Note limit to 5 to avoid Claude API rate limits. Batch scoring with rubrics. So the regeneration loop, multiple images in parallel, not one by one. Each attempt can handle up to 10 things concurrently. 5 for Claude analysis to respect rate limits. We just swapped the model that we used from Sonnet to Haiku. Could we increase the number of workers? It's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I know. What's up, boss? Why'd you join the stream? Okay, so we swapped a Haiku model. We optimized the prompt size. Condensed rubric from 1,000 to 500 characters. Streamlined prompt structure. 70% for rubric. Okay, that's good. Added cache check. Cache check, keys prompt, formatted hook, curl storing. Model switch, 80% cost reduction. 70% fewer. This should reduce Claude API costs. Yeah, we definitely needed to reduce that because I was paying, like, yesterday for all the stuff that we generated, I paid like $10 for that. And that was not that much. It was like a campaign. And it was kind of a shitty one. I looked at SMMA and sorted by update and found by this one, lol. Yeah, tight, bro. Do you run an agency? The comment line, 8,000 tokens minimum, which was for Sonnet. With Haiku, you can update that comment too. Go to Yuga Haiku, the worker cap rate limit, since it has higher rate limits, we can increase it. Proposed changed. Comment 8,000 min limit, which for Sonnet, you can update that too. Apply those changes. Yeah, I haven't been getting clients yet, unfortunately. Been slacking real hard though. What's your niche? And what are you doing to get clients? Are you just like cold calling? If you're interested, I do painters and I get ads. I run paid ads to get clients. Automate. Seconds. Remodelers, LinkedIn outreach. Oh, sick. Are you just doing cold outbound? I have been trying LinkedIn outreach. I've been using AimFox just to automate it. Do you do retainer? I do PPL. Okay, cool. That is much higher. Okay, system 10. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I think we can test the bot again. God damn it. This is why vibe coding sucks, because you always hit fucking massive errors like this. Go through all of the code and fix any errors that you find. I'll probably do PPL for my first client, hoping to do retainer though. I would highly recommend you do PPL if you have some money. If you don't have any money, I would not suggest honestly charging anything, because the thing about PPL is that it requires a lot of startup. I've put about 5 grand, maybe closer to 6, 8 into my agency, and I've maybe made 1,200. Um, and that's just part of business, right? Like even like a service-based business like this, that's like completely online, relatively cheap to start. Um, and with you, it's probably going to be less than that because you've just done LinkedIn outreach. Um, and I ran ads, and I've spent like a couple grand in ads. And part of PPL is that you're the one who's paying for ads, and it's a little scary because you're putting up your money, and it's risky. Um, but what I like about PPL is that it's a way easier sell, and it also grows with the client. And it also, you can frame that as actually a positive because the way that I frame it to clients on sales calls is that like, hey, I am incentivized to deliver the best ads possible for you because I my success and the money that I make is directly tied to it. My ROAS, right? So effective ROAS, let's say it costs 20, $30 to get a lead and you sell it for $70, $80, right? Which is pretty typical. I get better than that because I run really good ads. But what you can frame it to them is like, hey, I am incentivized as much as possible. And it's no risk because I'm paying for your ads. Now, the thing is if you don't have any money, it's really, really hard to do that because you're going to get really, really fucking stressed because you're putting up all your money for this client. Um, so, I mean, if you have money, I would recommend PPL because it's a way easier sell and it's also scalable with the client. And it, I think, makes more money in the long run because your profit margins also end up being higher because like your client retention is higher, your client satisfaction is higher. It's a lot easier to show the exact ROI on a PPL. So I would recommend PPL if that's the way you're gonna go. If you're interested and if you have money. If you don't do it and just stick to retainer. And if you have no results, just get as many people as possible on the phone. Like I would even recommend just like cold calling. Like if you have no experience running ads, she'll try to get the client to cover the ad cost. You're for PPL, that's a hard ask because you're no longer because they're no longer paying just for a flat service. They're paying for a continuous stream. For PPL, I would not recommend trying to get the client to cover the ad cost because it's going to be too hard of a sell. Because it's like, well, you're incentivized in one way but not in the other way. Like it's kind of confusing. So people are going to get thrown off by that. So I would not recommend getting them to cover the ad cost because that's not part of the deal. If you look at like the most quote unquote successful PPL agencies, like the ones that are worth the most right now, specifically focusing on like remodelers or contractors like we're focusing on, you think of like Angie's, Thumbtack, and Home Advisor, and that's how they work. I think some of them charge. I think Angie specifically charges like a setup fee, but they generally don't charge you any kind of retainer. And they don't make the client pay for ad spend. So I would not recommend trying to get the client to pay for ad spend, especially if you have no experience. And even I have experience running paid ads, and I'm I would consider myself like a 5 out of 10 media buyer. I don't think I'm anything like that special, but I can fart my way around an ad account. I'm decent at creative. I can come up with unique ideas. I can doom scroll on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and rip things from other people. And those are the biggest requirements for being a good media buyer. So if you have no money and if you're not interested in putting up your money for a client, it's going to be harder to sell. You'll probably, out of the people you get to sit down, you might only get 10% for this deal. The deal would be just work for free. So tell them like, hey, I'm new, right? I'm new at this, but I'm really, really motivated. And here's what I plan on doing for you. And here's what I want to try. And I believe that it's going to work because it's worked for all these other people. It's worked for all these people I've talked to. And I believe that it'll work for you. So here's the deal. You pay for ads and I will charge you nothing on top of that. So there's no, so you're literally just working for free. And the only way that you're going to get that deal is if you work for free. It's kind of the brutal reality. And I'm only saying this because I have been in the trenches, and I've been on like 50 sales calls at this point ever since I started my agency like 2 months ago. And that's the mindset that these contractors have. Appreciate the insight. What niche you're in? I'm in painters. I do residential painters. And like, honestly, your niche doesn't matter that much. Like, a lot of people put like a lot of like hard line on it. I think niche is overrated. I've seen people make hundreds of thousands of dollars serving window cleaners, and the ticket is like $100, $200. It's like, there is money everywhere. You just have to figure out how to get it into people's hands. You have to see yourself, if you're doing lead gen, which, by the way, is the most generic agency. If you want, it would be a lot easier to compete in some kind of other way, like instead of being a paid ad agency, be a skip trace agency where you just send out bulk cold SMSs. That would be expensive, but it does work. There's a reason why people do it. But yeah, I do residential painters only. I don't do commercial painters. But like, niche doesn't really matter. When I started, I didn't have a niche, and I just ran ads saying, hey, I'll pay for your ad spend. And I got people booked in a call for like $5 per, because I just have money, because I've been doing organic affiliate marketing for a while, and I just wanted to start a real business. And I was fine spending like $2,000 to get like, just to like talk to people. Which is about what it took. It took about $2,000 until I figured out like ads that actually worked. And out of the clients that I had, I got like 10 people interested. I worked with a window cleaner. I worked with a lady selling life insurance. I worked with a carpet cleaner. I worked with what was the other one? I worked with mold. I worked for a mold remover for a minute. And just the client that I had the most success with was a residential painter. And I don't think that like necessarily means that the niche is easier. Like there's a ton of people in it. It's relatively competitive, and like, most residential painting business owners are like old men who suck at tech. And like, literally yesterday I had a call with a guy, and he didn't show because he couldn't figure out how Google Meet worked. And I called him, and he just didn't answer because I guess he was embarrassed. So that's the con of a niche like residential painters, because they're just old men. But anyway, yeah, shoot any other questions you have, boss. I'm happy to answer. I don't mean to hold you. I mean, honestly, dude, I'm just sitting here waiting for, I think I'm going to, I was just waiting for that to load, but I think it was bugged. So I'm just going to let it, I was just waiting for this. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're interested in what I'm building is a bot that basically generates hooks. So what I believe is the most important part of media buying is hook testing. So if you're going to have a ad agency, which by the way is the most generic kind of agency, it's going to be decently hard to compete. It doesn't really matter the niche that you pick, because out of all the guys that you're reaching out to, you're probably the 100th that they've gotten in contact with. So just kind of keep that in mind. So you either have to have like a really, really good offer, or you just have to do massive volume. So you have to do like 100 a day, which is what I'm trying to get to with LinkedIn. I would like to do 100 connect ads a day, and just do like 3,000 a month and just see how it works. Okay, cool. So it fixed itself. All right. And basically the idea of this bot is that it just bulk creates hooks for me. And I've been vibe coding it here for a minute. I'm never going to like sell something like this because it's so janky and shitty. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, we're opening. Okay, look at this. All right, we got it. Regenerate below threshold. Delete selected. Honestly, I think we should just regenerate all these. Yeah. Or feedback / instructions. Font size, and make sure there's no extra things besides just the hooks, yellow text, and red background. Oh, there it is. Oh, cool. I get a little pop-up now. Yeah, this bot's working great. But yeah, so you can see if we just scroll through here, here's like all of the different images that got generated. And the idea is just like bulk generating hundreds and hundreds of hooks that for my niche. And you can see here, like there's errors with the images, but like it's just the idea is just to test the hooks. So then I can come in, pick the ones that work best, and then make better creative from it. Yeah, my agency is kind of an AI agency where the offers we get you leads, qualify them, automatic follow-up. All you got to do is the appointment and close them. Sheesh, I haven't seen anything like that. Yeah, I pulled it from affiliate marketing guys. So if you want, like, here's a golden tidbit, dude. Here's something fun. Honestly, dude, if you want to drop your Discord, I'd be happy to add you and chat more. But here's like a real golden piece of advice that I would charge hundreds for. Look into the niches for the thing that you want to get better at that's the most competitive. So affiliate marketing, specifically like ClickBank affiliate marketing, and offers adjacent to that are so fucking competitive because the barrier to entry is really, really low, and it's also really, really easy to pay $100 for Spy Hero or whatever and just rip everybody's ads. So figure out who the top guys are in that space and watch anything that they've put out and try and maybe even get on a consult call with them. I wasn't able to. He wanted to do it for like 20 grand, and I was like, no. No, I can't. I'm not going to pay that. But I got the idea from the #1 affiliate marketing guy on ClickBank right now, because this is basically the kind of bot that he built. His is a bit more sophisticated than mine because he's an actual programmer, and I am not a programmer. I understand like what an array is. I understand like what an if else, what a for, what a while. I can write like basic bitch Python code. Like a code that I wrote myself that I use for my clients because I just sell the leads like you do, which actually works really, really well for PPL. If you're gonna be based on a retainer, sell the appointments because they're paying more for it. So sell the appointments and then have like a bonus of like a free website that you include as part of it, with like a scheduler and all that. If you sell just the lead, you're gonna get outcompeted by guys like me who are just doing PPL because it's lower barrier to entry than paying like $2,000 a month for it, especially because you're unproven. But there's the con that you have to pay for ads, and obviously that's a conundrum. But I wanted to create something that I believe that if you're going to go into business doing something, you have to do something that nobody else is doing. So, like, that's part of the reason why I'm streaming, right? Because, like, nobody has a stream like this where, like, they're building tools like this for the purpose of an SMMA, and that's sort of, like, my competitive advantage. And the thing about competitive advantages is that I talked to somebody on the stream yesterday about it, is that the competitive advantages will never be given to you. Your competitive advantages will never be presented through a YouTube video, through a convenient means. It is only going to be something that you're going to figure out through relentless, brutal effort. Yeah, no, you get it. So it's like, you will only find it out after years. Like, I believe my competitive edge when it comes to painters is like a combo of my PPL offer and like my ability to write scripts. Like the scripts I was talking about pulls from the Google Maps API and make sure that the lead that's coming in that they're getting billed for is within 30 minutes of my client's like base address. Because, Meta Meta likes to target people like that are hours outside, and I don't sell people. Like, I don't sell leads that aren't qualified, so I don't sell leads that, like, aren't ready to go, don't have a project that's big enough, stuff like that. That's another reason why I like PPL, is because once you figure out that, like, base workflow inside of GHL, it's really easy just to copy and paste it. Another bot I have on here that I'm going to... It's around here that I'm going to start working on is literally just an automated client fulfillment bot. So my idea is to have it just be on, like, a spreadsheet. And it's like whenever, like, I'll put in, after the client completes onboarding, my onboarding process, I'll put in any detail I need to put in about them, and like their, company name, location, address, all that bullshit, and then stick it inside of this Google Sheet, and then just click a check mark, and then it will create the GHL sub account. It'll create the Meta campaign, and it will upload all of the ads, because we're going to be using the same versions of the ad to start for every single client. So every single client is going to have these same ads, basically. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I just want the simplest version to start for any client that I bring on. And for the clients that perform really, really well and who want more leads, I'm going to start going in and making their ads better compared to just the base version that we're having right now. So it acts as more qualification, but I can get everybody from low to high market. And that would especially be cool if I can automate the entire system. So if I can so if it's just like Angie's List, where you just sign up, put in your credit card, and you start getting leads. I always wanted to do stuff like these. I always use them as low leverage tasks. My priority was doing outreach and getting some clients through the door. That should always be your number one priority. That's it's the most important thing. And you're right, this is sort of low leverage because it's annoying. What the? My order is on my way? I didn't order anything. Oh, whoops. Shit, I ordered weed. But it's the idea is to build tools that help you, right? And I think that that's a very, very high leverage task. And honestly, for the sheet thing that I'm talking about, I think I'm just going to hire somebody to do it. But for this bot specifically, I did not want to do that. Yeah, lol, it's weed. I like weed. Fuck off. I don't smoke when daylight's out. I only smoke at night to go to sleep because I have a hard time sleeping. And also eating. I don't eat a lot. So it helps me actually eat because I am bad at it. But, so I would recommend, honestly, for you, because you don't even have a client yet. You're right. The only thing that matters is getting a client. And you should be doing 100 LinkedIn requests minimum a day. I'd recommend doing as much as possible. It's never going to hurt you to do more outreach. You might have to make a second LinkedIn account. Also pay for Sales Navigator because they're not going to be as bitchy. And it's not that expensive. It's $20 a month if you get the low plan. I use a tool called AimFox to automate LinkedIn outreach. I'm trying it. We'll see how it goes. I have really bad attribution for where clients are coming in from, so that's something I need to fix, is figuring out what the fuck is actually working. Because I talked to a guy who, I tried cold SMS for a while, and it just kind of didn't really work. And then just randomly, I got somebody in a call who became a client. And I didn't know that he was from the cold SMS campaign. And the funny thing is that cold SMS campaign was actually for a different niche than painters. So I went into the sales call with the expectation that it was for a painter. So I showed him this sales deck that I made, which is for painters. So I kind of had to fly with it, and I can tell he was a little iffy about it, but I got him, and I got him to complete all steps. So I'll work on his campaign eventually. I should probably work on that soon. But yeah, since you have no clients, absolutely your only priority should be getting clients, because you have none. So here's also a little golden tidbit. Here's something I'm going to try just because we're chill like that. This is something I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work. It's cold DMs. So the cool thing about cold DMs is that you can pull the follower lists. Well, first off, it signs up through your Instagram, which is important because you should have an Instagram that's that's real looking. I have a buddy who built a almost 200K per month YouTube agency where he just makes YouTube videos for clients. His name is, where is he? His name is Tao. He literally built a 100K per month agency just from Instagram DMs. So you can see here, like even a year ago, he was getting really crazy results for clients, and he like won one of his clients the school games. He went and met Alex Ramosi. You can see here he's like crushing it. Like I know he's doing well because I'm getting recommended the videos that he makes, which is crazy. Like I got recommended this video, which is obscene. I think it's crazy. And he got all these clients just from Instagram. And all he would do was just like he talked to me about it, and all he would do was just go into the follower lists of people who would potentially be good clients. So I follow a couple like painting agencies. Well, not painting agencies, but like painting course gurus. And I'm gonna rip all their followers. I don't see on his Lambo. Yeah, exactly. He's obviously not rich enough. You know, since he doesn't have the Lambo, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about exactly. You need to pay attention to what's that guy who was like, "You're still in high school, but I dropped out and I got my Lambo." I mean, there's a bunch of them, but he's like a white guy. He just got exposed because he wasn't paying his sales team because he spent all of his money on a Urus. I forgot his name. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, he's crushing it, and it's just on like cold DMs. It's just on cold DMs. So I think Sam Millsap. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, did you hear about how he got exposed? It's fucking crazy. Like, like, dude, it's not that hard to pay your people, you know? But, you know, I guess that's a controversial opinion these days. But yeah, so cold DMs is cool because of that, because you can like find leads from accounts and even from hashtags and from mentions. It's really, really good at like, it's pretty cool. So you should pay them before you. Yeah, exactly. It's wild. And it's like, it's not that he wasn't making a small amount of money. He was making great profit. He was making like 60, 70% margins. Like he was getting killer ROI, killer, like his commission for sales was only like 20%. So it's like really small, especially for a high ticket thing. Oh, about painting course gurus. So I'm going to rip the follower list from the painting course gurus who are hopefully, I mean, they are because I scrolled through it, a bunch of successful painters. And I'm just going to hit them with my offer. So it's like, hey, do you want this? And for me, since my offer is PPL, I have decided to just be as like clear as possible with it. Because like if you're doing retainer, then part of the game is that you have to hold off as long as possible. But for me, I honestly just like much prefer, I just much prefer saying it. Okay. I don't know why. So it's like, hey, they cost this much. There's no contracts, no ad spend. If you're interested in add me back. And then I literally just hit them with the link to book. And that's it. And I'm going to do the same thing for the Instagram people. So it's like, I just send them, hey, we send exclusive job requests for painters. I'll probably include using Facebook ads or using meta ads. I'll probably include that. I think that'll help. Or I'd split test it. If you're interested, add me back and we'll chat. And then, hey, let's do a 15-minute demo to go over how it works and how we guarantee quality. Book anytime that works for you. So I think that's how I'm going to do it for Instagram DMs as well. And I think that'll work nicely. Wow, this image generation is taking fucking forever, dude. Okay. I don't believe that this step is multi-threaded. This step should be multi-threaded as well. So, like, I'm just going to do the same thing. Instagram accounts, 1 per line. And it's literally just like, yeah, you can just pick their followers. And you can even go to, like, their following, which is, like, crazy. It's crazy rad. Some images have failed. Well, why did they fail? Oh, they got no score. Weird. So that would be an advice that I would give is, I mean, I am always a huge advocate of the Alex Hormozi, just do more. It's great advice and it does work. Doing more is always good. I would always recommend doing good. But like I would try something like that, dude. I can't like, and that is one thing I don't like about AimFox and LinkedIn automation is that I can't do this. So I can't find leads from an account, which is kind of annoying. But what the fuck? Oh, we need to add a button here for deselect all. That's something that needs to get added. No, yeah, there. That's something that definitely needs to get added. Add a button to the right of select all that says deselect all, where we can deselect every single image. I don't see the grading rubric here. On the images. Also, was this step... Sorry, I have a hard time... Let's see the grading rubric in here. What happened there? Why isn't it included? Also, for this step, I pulled images that were already generated in an attempt to retry them. Did it just regenerate all the images again, or did it retry them based on the specifications, as in retrying it at least 5 times before giving up? Okay. I'm curious, how are your ads performing for your clients? Oh, pretty good. We get good CPA. I won't say the exact ad because it's the trade secret. But like my CPA generally hovers around $15, and then we sell the leads for 75 per. And usually 1 out of 4 leads are invalid, as in they, as in they're not in the location that we want, as in they're too far away, or the job isn't big enough, or they don't own their home. So stuff like that, or they're not ready for it. Like it's just like they're not ready to get started. I gotta close out of this. But yeah, those are how my ads are performing for clients. They're performing pretty well. I can't tell you what the exact ad because I believe it is my competitive advantage. What I will say though is don't focus on coupons. So I've dug into a few ad accounts of shitty agency owners, and the biggest thing I would not recommend is focusing on coupons, because coupons are generic. Everybody has coupons. Um, and instead, you got to focus on what I've been talking about, which is how do you be different? So a part of this bot also that I haven't mentioned yet is we and I want to build this out more sophisticated because right now it's pretty manual. I might have to bounce off real quick because my delivery is almost here. Um, I'll just leave the stream open. But um, so just don't do the same thing that everybody else is doing. And it's tempting to do the same thing because you believe that it works. And it's not that it can't work. It's that it's not going to work well. And if you want something to work well, you have to get in the trenches. I got to go soon. It's getting late here. Yeah, it's chill, boss. Don't worry about it. You got to get in the trenches and you really got to lock in. Like, you got to really try things. And you're going to fail. Probably 90, 95% of the time, it's not going to hit. But that 5% is going to crush. And that 5% is going to be your edge. It's going to be what I was talking about, where it's your competitive advantage. So you really have to put yourself out there and you just have to try. And it's hard to, like, it's easy for me to say that because, like, when you're actually trying, it gets really scary. But you just have to keep pushing through it. When you give up, you lose 100% of the time. You are guaranteed to lose. If you don't give up, it's not guaranteed anymore. So that's the way I would see it. I don't see him. So that's that's the big thing, is that you really just have to put your head in the water and you have to drown. It's like, and it sucks. And even though it's like easy for me to sit here and talk about it, it does suck. But it's part of the game. It's part of what you signed up for, to be an entrepreneur. It's shitty and it's annoying, but it's part of it. Okay, that's still an issue. Again, I'm still not seeing the rubric here. Do I have to regenerate? So it's just, you just have to suffer. And that's literally the only way to find it. And when you find it, it becomes a lot easier to replicate it. Because you know that, like, oh, okay, this is what it takes, right? And you know that, like, okay, this is how far outside you have to be of the norm. Okay, I gotta bounce. I'll be right back. Minnie, stop. All right, I'm back. I believe that there's a lot of errors going on in this campaign. This is me after attempting to regenerate images. I don't know why it's automatically scoring it as 0. What's going on here? How do we fix this issue? Is this even an issue? Dude, this iced tea is so good. I gotta hit that Charlie Kirk. How does he do it? It's like, yeah, I gotta hit that.
Aaron and Kitboga outsmart scammers with a fake Bitcoin trick.
My voice's audio is significantly too low. I can barely hear myself talking over the music, even though the music is on a really low volume. I mean, sorry, I'm using Opus Clip, and it's being weird. Well, actually, I'm gonna bring this volume like way down. Way down. Find moments where I make a good point relating to building my SMMA or coding or using AI or whatever. Okay, cool. Now let's just leave. Do not redeem! Do not redeem! Why did you redeem that card? Failed images. Okay. Any error messages? Investigate the images. No. Yeah, just fix the issues. Why the fuck did you redeem the card? Why did you redeem it? No! No, no, no! No! I had 1,000 hours of watch time? Fucking how? Is this lifetime?
you. Why did you redeem it? I'm doing it because you told me to give you cash. It says right here how to redeem Google cards. I'm just Crash, calm down, Steve.
And Steve is not the only scammer that we made angry. We made a lot of scammers very angry.
Do not redeem. Do not redeem. Stop redeem. What don't you want me to do? Do not redeem. Okay, John, you ready to let it rip? It says we're redeeming. No. Press F to pay respect. Cancel it. Cancel it. Cancel it. Cancel it. No, if I click cancel, you won't get money. I owe you money, John. I told you to cancel it. I can't cancel it. Cancel it. Right now, I'm trying to cancel it. It's not working. Or should I click? I click confirm. It's in your ass. You put this on your ass. How much cash?
That's another 2 cards sent over to the government.
Hey, Richard, are you motherfucker? You have no brain. Are you dumb?
No, again, I say to you, Mr.
Now you're not
President,
listening to me.
I am listening to you.
This is something else. Again and again.
We got these errors again, clearly showing that the rubric is saying that these images failed. I don't believe that these images failed. However, you can go into the file path that I'm going to provide and see if they don't exist. Maybe we should write a function that before we regenerate any images, we check to make sure that those images actually exist.
Yelling at me. I think you will out of your mind. I think $2,000. Back to back to back to back to back. You didn't send me 4 times. You sent $500. $500. You want to I spent all day on the phone. I sent all that money to you. Don't you dare. I sent you $2,000, and that's how you repay me. The nerve. No. You are not nice. If you want the next card, you have to say sorry, because you've been very naughty.
Okay, listen to me. Don't do it. Otherwise, I will send the box to your house.
Okay, Amazon Nancy, 55.
No.
I'll have to watch that later. That is very funny. Okay. Cool. All right, Red. You have fixed image generation. I'll just come back to it later. Okay. Special character placement. Okay. All right. It's getting it now. Sweet. Okay. That's better. We hit a rate limiting error for GPT Vision. We need better handling so that doesn't happen again. As well as making sure the code can see that it's a rate limiting error and waiting for the amount of time until we are no longer rate limited and then retrying the last generation. Failed images. All of these images here are saying that they're the 5th attempt generated. Are they actually? Because clearly from each generation, it has not improved. So why after 5 generations are we still not getting the ideal image? I mean, honestly, I might just regenerate the images from scratch. Yeah, that's going to be something I'm going to add. Add a button whenever we reiterate the images just to regenerate every single image based off of the hooks and delete all current images. Add that as a button that I can press on the review images section only when I rubric scoring. Include the rubric scoring inside of the metadata of the failed image and use that to pull whenever needed. Yeah, we're going to be changing that up a little bit. Try again, wait, check, updated API calls. Extend this rate limiting function to every single part of our bot and every single time we call an AI API. Yeah, that'll help. Again, the music is way too loud. Also, I don't want this many clips. I think I'm just gonna get rid of this fucking music. It's not... Yeah, fucking get rid of it. Only create 20 total clips of the most potentially viral / useful moments in the stream. Clip only for when I clearly state something interesting, and also make sure that I say the thing in its entirety. Find maximum 20 clips where I say the most interesting and actually applicable moments that would be useful for somebody to hear. Okay, we'll try it that way. Welcome everyone who's joining the stream. I'm just really trying to build out this bot. Okay, extract exact, blah, blah, blah. Rubik scores in the failed images of metadata. Rubik scores can be retrieved from metadata whenever needed. Rubik scores are preserved through retry attempts, backwards compatible, keep. Checking where fifth attempt, the problem. Global attempt counter is a single counter for the entire batch and not per image. If multiple images fail together, it continues until attempt 5. By attempt 5, they show attempt number in the metadata. Missing attempt history in connections. Okay, for Claude, blah, 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 is only in the case of current failure. No per image attempt tracking. Each image should track its own attempt count by using the code as a global counter that increments each loop. Track attempted numbers per image, not globally. Include previous regeneration attempts. Pass a full attempt history to Claude so we can learn from previous failures. Yes, implement that code. Okay. That's the problem with these things, dude. This is what I hate about AI. I keep talking about this, but it's like you think something like that would be obvious, but it's just not. I mean, I know for a fact that what we're doing is definitely
In the 1930s,
faster than if I coded it myself.
a dude named B.F. Skinner, whose full name I can only assume is Big.
But doesn't make it any less annoying, to be honest.
Fat Skinner, he did an experiment where he put a rat in a little box, and the box was a button it could press, and if it pressed the button, it dispensed some food. Now, obviously the rat pressed the button whenever it was hungry, right? But Skinner realized that if the button didn't give food every single time it got pressed, the rat pressed it more. In fact, he found that there was a sweet spot with the button, an unpredictable, ever-changing number of presses before it dispensed food that kept the rat glued to the thing, obsessed with whether or not the next press would be the one to do it. I used to think that as a YouTuber, I was the one that was dispensing the food. That the viewers were the rats, the idiots who clicked on the thumbnails with big red circles because they were brighter than the others. Which, to my knowledge, is still true. But I thought that I was the one running the experiment. But as I got older, and as I hit my wildest professional and financial goals, and a deer, I realized that I was in the box too. That I couldn't stop pressing the button, even though logically, pressing it didn't make sense anymore. I struggled with that realization for a while. It came on the back of a bunch of shitty things that happened around me all in rapid succession, and it led to one of the most miserable and aimless periods of my entire life. And it presented me with a choice. I could jump back into the rat race, get more views, make more money, move my goalposts again for the umpteenth time. Or I could just take care of myself for once. And for the first time, I'm actually choosing the latter. I'm going to explain how, why, all that stuff. In fact, this video is probably going to be a little TMI, but hey, I think you deserve a little more than the video I posted on Maine, so let's do it. And in advance, I want to apologize for all the rambling and tangents this video will inevitably have. How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt. Welcome back to the weekly slap. If you haven't watched my main video, hello, how are you? Basically, I've decided to stop posting to my main channel. Now, this doesn't really mean anything in practice, considering I only upload there once in a blue moon. And a lot of my other projects and channels are still ongoing. I'm more so just making this change for me, to mark the end of a certain way of thinking I've fallen into over many, many years. So, if you're interested to hear about it, here we go. If not, you're not missing much. Let's start at the beginning. The deer story is true. A few months ago, I got into a pretty bad car accident. I was headed to the supermarket, getting some big league chew, you know, the whole shebang. The thing jumped out onto the road, and there was literally no time to react. And every time I bring it up in videos, I've mentioned it quite a few times at this point, I try and make light of the situation.
Cool.
And kind of, you know, make jokes, but fuck, man, that sucked. That sucked. I've never been in a real car accident before. Believe it or not, I'm a pretty good driver when there's no alcohol involved. Just kidding.
All right, excellent.
Just kidding. Damn. I was pretty banged up.
Excellent.
The windshield, the glass,
All right, let's try it.
covering my face, and time literally slowed down. And I remember thinking to myself, like, am I watching a video right now? Is this a fucking YouTube short? As it was happening, that's what my brain was going like. I couldn't actually believe it was happening. I said I was going 4 times over the speed limit in the main channel video. That was a lie. It was 5 times over. In reality, I got very lucky. I'm lucky it hit the right side of the car. I mean, otherwise that's a near-death experience. I'm lucky no one was in that seat because, again, that's a near-death.
Class image cannot be scaled due to heighty displays using. It is not using high K, but image.
And the most important piece of this whole car accident puzzle that I think is that the day it happened, the day I wrecked my dream car and was was left sitting in a pile of glass and deer gristle. I came home and I realized I was still more stressed out about how poorly my recent video was doing. And it was in that moment I was just like, wow, I do not take care of myself. I have everything I ever could have wanted in life, and I still worry the most about titles and thumbnails. Still, all the while, fat as fuck, completely sedentary, I'm tired, I'm stressed all the time, and I don't do shit about it. And a 10 out of 10 in the YouTube studio, which basically means that out of your last 10 videos, this one is the worst performing one. That ruins my day more than literally almost dying. What am I still working towards that I haven't achieved? I've done everything I've wanted to on YouTube. Really, I've met all my idols. I've gotten millions of views. I'm past all the financial goals I had too, even the stupidly unrealistic ones. My life no longer improves with another 1 out of 10. So what was it? Why was I still obsessed? And I realize it's the box, man. And that's the
For the regenerate images multi-threading, make sure that we're not only multi-threading the retry attempts, but we're multi-threading the current rubric scoring. At the same time. Okay. Because if you see here, this is what's happening, is that it's like regenerating and then regenerating just one. And then we hit the rate limit. So we got to wait until the rate limit is done. What exactly does a special character placement category mean? What does the special character placement category mean for our image failed grading rubric? Yeah, what the fuck does that even mean? It's confusing. Okay.
Entrepreneurship and a lot of stuff in life is that if you stop, you lose for 100%. You will 100%. Okay, did ChatGPT finally figure this shit out? Okay, let's see. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna fucking copy and paste. I'm done with this shit. It's just a brutal reality of being a teen is that everybody around you sucks and you suck too, even if you won't admit it, and you're not gonna figure it out for 10 years. I still haven't figured it out. I'm almost 23. I haven't figured it out. I'm not even close. It's just the same thing that Thomas says. It's the purpose of your job. Your job's purposeful. Say what you want about him, but he speaks facts about disciplines. Why aren't you more skeptical? Why do you think, like, what is this going to do for you? What is this going to do that's so cool? Oh, bro, we're democratizing code. Like, we already do. You can just fucking look it up. Like, you can, I'm being lazy. Why aren't you more skeptical? Why do you think, like, what is this going to do for you? What is this going to do that's so cool? Oh, bro, we're democratizing code. Like, we already do. You can just, it is a computer that does what I tell it to, except when it doesn't and it makes shit up. It's not that special. Stop thinking that it's cooler than what it is. Stop thinking it's a god. Stop thinking it's, like, I would rather work with one good person than 5 mediocre people, in my opinion. I just would rather work with a good one than a bad one.
Cool.
But look, if you guys are building, anything, my biggest piece of advice is build it for yourself. Don't build it for other people. But look, if you guys
You know, I think I'm just going to delete all the images and just retry generation from the start. I want to see how the whole bot does it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to redo the whole fucking thing. Why are the images being generated here still not to the font size requirements that I want? It's so fucking annoying. Remove the padding code entirely. Just get rid of the whole thing. Yeah, we're starting to get better. We're getting there, gang. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, the images are getting better. Slowly getting better. No. Our initial image generation is so fucking fast. Priorities change. A big thing that I've realized is that I would rather just focus 100% of my effort on the business because it's the thing that's given me the most ROI instead of betting on something like real estate where I have no competitive advantage and don't really know anything about it. Now, that is the logical version. Let's be clear that I also don't want to be a slumlord because it's a bad thing. Describe to me the current API system after image regeneration based on a failed rubric. I want to know, like, the flow for this. We've been getting a lot of rate limiting errors. Find ways inside of the regeneration path that we can reduce the number of tokens that we send without reducing the number of workers. Then explain them to me here. Okay. So, all right. What we do is the initial rubric scoring reads the entire images file and code that sends image sets detailed rubric prompt to GPT-4 Vision, returns category scores, categories, rate limiting, failure analysis, process batches up to 10 failures concurrently. For each failure, analyzes the rubric scores and failure reasons, build a correction prompt. If we condense the rubric categories, will that create issues for the regeneration of images or scoring? As in, it doesn't accurately describe it well enough, so GPT Vision starts hallucinating? Do you believe that removing the padding like this will increase the font size to what I want? Do you see potential for any issues created? I think it's totally possible to do both. But I know that there is a level of videography is your hobby and making movies is your hobby. I think it's possible to do both. But you would have to sell out and focus more on what the market, quote unquote, wants. Yeah, I'm going to cancel that. We need to... Would we reduce tokens of, instead of having a exact scoring blueprint, we upload 2 images, with the first being the image that was generated and the second being an example more aligned of what I want, and compare the two, ignoring the words and specifically focusing on centering, sizing, text errors, etc. Yeah, do that. Weird. That's going to be something we're going to change. We're going to include an example of the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Okay. I think this is a good idea. I'll go ahead and create the example image. Give me the text that I should write to fill out the image like the example that I'm going to provide you right now. Oh, shit. This is more in line with what I want it to look like. Should we update our row code if the hook is small enough to allow these few characters per row? Maybe we should remove the row code altogether and just have the AI do it. What do you think would produce the best results? Also, as part of the plan, I want to change our font to plan out every single change that we want to make here, including the adaptive row formatting and the image-based example grading. Yeah, there's a lot. I know, I keep getting spoiled whenever I scroll. Save this reference image wherever you want. That would be best for the code. Ugh. Everybody that's joining the stream. What I'm working on is file name. Okay. Reference underscore image dot reference image. Same root, same folder as. Okay. Okay, check and make sure that the reference image is there because I just added it. I don't fucking. Yeah, that's what I thought. Supposed to have a client meeting at 1:30, but the guy has obviously bailed. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. Had a big problem in my agency lately with no shows. It's terrible. It's annoying. Next week I got a guy called Derek Copeland who's coming, which sucks. Copeland. Guess
The
I'm.
entire point, Skinner's box. The algorithm of ones and tens that keep you mashing the button like a fucking idiot because it's all you know. And when your video's performing really well, YouTube shows confetti on your homepage. It blasts over the entire screen and it says
Rewrite all code to accommodate. Instead of our font being whatever it is, instead it's Roberto Bold.
blast confetti all over the homepage.
Like in the reference image.
It's funny, you know, the reason my uploads became so infrequent over the years on this main channel isn't because I didn't feel like posting. I wasn't kicking back, going to like FaZe Clan parties and sleeping around. It's the fucking opposite. I'd wake up thinking about YouTube. I'd go to bed thinking about YouTube. I'd have dreams I was making videos, and I'd wake up half asleep thanking people for their donation to my stream. And I was absolutely terrified of a 10 out of 10. It would ruin my entire month. If I had just posted a really good video and the confetti was fucking going on YouTube Studio, I'd purposefully wait. Like as long as I could before posting another video because I knew the confetti would go away. And it would tell me something bad instead. And the days where those videos bombed were the most miserable ones I can imagine. I'd feel physically ill, no motivation to do anything. It felt like everything I had worked for was crumbling. Dude, everything cool that I tried the past half decade was met with a resounding fucking stop doing this, never do it again by YouTube Studio. And what's fucked is all those videos have millions of views, every single one. Sure, relative to ranking your cursed TikToks, they don't have as many views, but anyone would kill to have 1 million views on their passion project. I was just made so miserable by the website itself on uploading them that I believed they were complete failures. It's not the relationship you want to have with your job. And the fucking confetti, dude. I can't get over the confetti. It feels like a joke. These systems were crafted intentionally to get us to become addicted to getting views over enjoying the dream jobs that we have, to make us miserable when we're not, to tie up all our self-worth into our channels, and to not stop until we've squeezed out every bit of relevance we can and every ounce of passion we have. And it works. It works. The same exact tricks every social media site uses to keep everyone glued to their phones 24/7 and wondering why they feel completely fucking empty inside. It works. No wonder YouTube looks how it does today. No matter all of it looks how it does today. The entire online world. I feel like fucking Mermaid Man right now. Evil. I'm sorry. I'll get back on track. What was I talking? The car crash. That wasn't even all that happened that week, dude. Jambo, my dumb little fucking cat, he got really, really sick very shortly after that crash. Surprisingly, it wasn't even 10 fridge magnets this time. It was pancreatitis, which just happens to guys like him. Everything got inflamed. It caused intestinal blockage. He couldn't poop. He wouldn't eat for days and days and days. It was bad. I got him back from the vet after the second night, and he was so weak. I almost didn't recognize him. I took him back to the vet the next day because something was obviously very, very wrong. And the vet just started floating euthanasia as an option. He's doing better now, thankfully. But it took 3 or 4 different animal hospitals, and it only got any better until I wound up driving hours and hours to take him to this ultra specialized hospital in a really rich area where all the best care was. But man, I cried for days thinking this guy was a goner. Listen to Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones on the ride home.
I don't want to have to do this part. I want it to just happen. And I can just see a GUI of all of the current generated images, like the review one, but this one doesn't have a rubric or anything. And I can select the ones to be regenerated, and it still has the preview and all of that, just not the grading system yet because it hasn't been sent to be graded.
I'm reflecting on all this, and it became pretty clear to me that I needed a new set of goals. Not just in work, but in life, man. I mean, I think it just kind of reached the point where I don't need to focus on more anymore. I need to focus on what fucking matters. And while I can optimize the fuck out of a title and thumbnail and and see the confetti burst onto the screen, I feel a lot less confident in my personal life, with my health, with my relationships, with my faith. Like, these are things I haven't made a priority since YouTube became my job. Those annoying ass rent stew comments that plague my comment section. That's the real rent I was paying. Everything else in my life paled in importance to this shitty, unhealthy obsession I had with YouTube. And every time I think about Jay Schlatt live, I'm pulled back into that world of obsession. Like, I'm feeling like I'll never be good enough, of pressing the fucking button over and over and over again and expecting it to be different this time. Still, I don't know if I could ever feel a different way about that channel, to be honest. And that's why I'm quitting it. I simply don't want to buy into that way of thinking anymore. And this is as logical a solution as I can surmise right now. Now here's the good part of the video, guys. For the past few months, I have been caring for myself in a way that has quite literally never been seen before. I mean, since before this became my job, I'm dropping weight, I'm gaining muscle, I'm getting outside, I'm learning new skills, I'm keeping up with hobbies, I'm being kinder to myself, and most importantly, I'm easing up on the overthinking, the algorithm pleasing. And like I said, in practice, hardly anything is going to change. The lights are still on over here at Schlatt & Co., and the gears are still spinning. And I got a great team of people helping me, and I feel like I'm on the right track for the first time in a while. Like, I'm happy. I'm actually happy. And something I felt even more the past few months is this sense of overwhelming gratitude. Not for the fucking confetti, but for...
This is my retry to regenerate images that have already been generated. With all of the code updates that we have done, including the reference image and the lowering of the token usage and everything that we have done so far today in this console output, are we actually doing it?
And for everything else, this job is what everyone wants to do for a reason. And even though it hasn't been entirely smooth sailing, there's nowhere else and nothing else I'd rather be doing. I don't know how or why you guys thought I was the guy for the job, but I am incredibly humbled and appreciative that you're even listening to this. So, thank you. And let's see where this new leaf takes me, huh? I got a lot of fun stuff I'm working on right now. It's all non-YouTube related too, I should add. New Christmas album's out. You can buy the vinyl. It's a deluxe version we worked on. Another jazz standards album's coming out after that.
All images with the updated code at a force regenerate parameter. Checks if the images exist and are approved and then skips them. There's no way to force regeneration of existing approved images. Yes. Okay, I see. It's conundrum.
Probably in the new year, maybe a year afterwards. We'll see how long it takes me to make it. We're looking at venues for a potential live show, and I landed a role of voice acting in a show that's coming out soon. Seriously, I'm fucking psyched, man. All very new, all very fun, and hopefully all very good, too. Remains to be seen. And I will remain to be seen here and there, too. I'm sure you guys know how to find me by now. As always, want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for sticking around as long as you have. Thanks for putting up with my little rant here. And I'll see you again soon. My name is Schlatt, and today I have some very exciting news for me. It all started when I was looking for my comment section. Not something I usually do, given, you people. But hello, YouTube. I could feel it. I don't know how, but I sensed it. It was yearning for me. And there it was. I thought you were rich, and yet you keep posting. It's been in my head for months now, like a nagging wife with no prenup. I am rich, okay? My stock portfolio changes more in a day than your parents make all year, buddy. All these comments saying, oh, rich douche, Schlatt posted, he must always know that. Ow! Okay, the only red that's getting paid around here are the single mothers in my fourplex. And you couldn't see clean. That's not true, right? You can be rich and still post. They're not mutually exclusive. Look at Mr. Beast. He's a billionaire. He still posts. He posts all the fucking time. But do I want to be anything like Mr. Beast? No. I don't want a theme park in Saudi Arabia. I don't want Carl. Okay, I do want Carl. How about Sniper Wolf? She still posts, right? And she looks like she's having a great time. I'd kill myself. Maybe being rich and posting don't actually go together down the line. Maybe on this site you reach a point where continuing to grow means sacrificing everything you loved about it in the first place. Maybe I'm bicurious. I don't know. All I did know was that I needed